Hey guys, what's going on? It is Luke here. I wanted to make a super quick video on Pokey. It's an AI messaging assistant, Pokey by Interaction. It sort of was OpenClaw before OpenClaw, but it's like way less powerful. But also at the same time better and more consistent in a way, and you don't really need any sort of coding knowledge. You can kind of just use it out the box depending on what you're actually looking for or like wanting to do with it. So I'm going to quickly bring up, alright, so that took way longer than it should. Interaction.com, Pokey, designed by the Interaction Company of California. Watch the film. Basically, you can do a bunch of cool stuff with it.
I'm never gonna find someone like you again.
Take her on a date. Check your emails. It's sort of like the real life personal assistant, and in my opinion, it's the closest thing to an actual personal assistant that works. Now, a couple of things. The app is so far from perfect. There is a few bugs, there's a few time zone issues. I did notice that they just fixed the time zone issue in the last update, which was released like 2 or 3 days ago. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. I haven't used it for a couple of days. Check packages, tell me about GitHub repos. Like there's a whole bunch of connectors that you can check and do straight out of the box. Developers, calendar, email, all that sort of stuff. If I actually log into my Pokey, so in the integrations, you've got Linear, Notion, Todoist, Asana. In Developer, GitHub, Versal, DeepWiki, and then Business, Ramp, and Webflow. Like you've got Supabase. So I've got a few connected now. I can't show you because there's private links in there. But it's cool. There's automations, there's galleries, there's, daily calendar and email summary, regular hydration reminders, forward flight bookings to Flighty. Lots you can do as a personal assistant. But then OpenClaw came out and I tried it. I installed it on my Mac. Now my Mac, it's an M2 MacBook Air with 8 gigabytes of RAM, and I edit videos on it and I code on it, and it is dying, and it is slow, and it is horrible. So take what I say as a grain of salt from a performance perspective, but the features still work. What I couldn't get working through Pokey OpenClaw was iMessage, which I prefer because I live in iMessage. So you had to use Slack or Discord or WhatsApp or anything like that. Pokey directly into iMessage. OpenClaw had various different Slack channels that I was using. I could code, I could trade, like I could send trade things, cron jobs. Like it was so much more powerful. You could look at Twitter, but essentially OpenClaw was just a server, a cloud server that operates from your device that connects a bunch of random MCPs and hacks your computer and takes over the terminal. And I thought, why can't Pokey do that? So I spent the last 2 days, last 24 hours really, building an MCP for Pokey that does the same thing. And I'm going to show you right now. It is very good. So, hey Pokey, can you please run an Xcode build on my phone? Right, so it's not blazing fast. Now, I don't know if you have faster internet or you have a more powerful Mac or a Mac Mini, or you host it in the cloud, if that's going to do any sort of issues. The biggest bottleneck for this, and I've made it as secure as I possibly could, Obviously, it doesn't work if my Mac's off. You need an API key and an MCP link. So, a lot of bypasses to get through. That was like the bottleneck. However, it works. And it works really well. So I've basically just built a MCP that connects to Pokey, that has terminal access on the computer, and also, what I couldn't get working in OpenClaw, but I managed to get it working after 4 hours, is iMessage. So I can ask Pokey to also look at previous messages. So, right, so you'll see micro dev, it should click over soon. Again, the bottleneck is PC, because Pokey only runs off MCPs. Like, it's very restrictive with how you can do it. I have to send the request to Pokey, who then sends the request to my MCP, who then sends the request to my Mac, who then sends the request back to the MCP, who then sends it to Pokey, who then sends it to me. Huge bottleneck. OpenClaw, probably 5 times faster. Maybe 4 to 5 times faster, just because it's phone, computer, back to phone. Right? But I didn't like that, and I didn't like how developer intensive OpenClaw is. I'm sure the guys are working on it. Oh my god. Got it. Alright, cool. So it's working. So I didn't like how it was back and forward. Like, OpenClaw was too intensive, and I really like Pokey because it does a really good job at being an assistant. So when I ask it to check my emails, reply to an email, it does a really good job. Whereas I couldn't rely on OpenClaw to do the same sort of, hey, this doesn't work, and I had to use Slack. I didn't like it. I didn't want to use it. And so I didn't. And I'm like, if I just spent a little bit of time building the same thing, like, I got Codex 5.3 and Opus 4.6 to help me build these. 98% of it was built by Codex 5.3. And I even dumped the OpenClaw source code into it to actually, help build it and guide it along and sort of give it the tools and the know-how for what was going on. Got like 36 different tools in the system at the moment. Like Pokey has 36 tools to call. And I think it's just a bit much for it to handle. Alright, so that took like 8 minutes. It's finally going to work. Again, it was cool. It was calling it too many tools. It was getting confused. So I've got to go clean that up. But I can code with Pokey, which is, to me, insane. Insane. Oh my god. Alright, 10 minutes later, we fucking finally got there. So this is a new habit that I'm building. A new habit app that I'm building called, I don't know what it's called yet, but we're in the process of building it. It's quite cool. Got a lot of mood boards and shit like that. We can guided reflection, obviously Apple, and it works, which is the fucking great thing about it. So it takes forever. There's a lot of tools in there that the app, I'm assuming Pokey is getting confused with. So that's not Pokey's fault. That's my fault. That's my shit developing skills. But I've basically turned Pokey into a slower version of OpenClaw, but that is only because I have to go via an MCP and my computer is very limited. It has 8 gigabytes of RAM. Other than that, I'm sure it would be way faster. And so that's all I wanted to really show you guys, because now I've been recording for 20 minutes and I've done nothing. Can you send me a screenshot of the X home page? Another thing I sent it. Another tool that I added was screenshots. Now, Pokey doesn't allow you to send images via MCP. Very annoying, I know, but it doesn't. So basically, it takes the screenshot with a headless Chromium browser, stores it on your PC, hosts it, and then it sends you a link, and that link takes well, it depends where you load it, but the issue is more so that it can do it, but there is a restriction on Pokey that doesn't allow you. Now, Pokey can actually generate an image. While you are doing that, make me an image of emails. Right, so there's the link. Click on that. It'll open a link. And there's their X homepage. So if Pokey ever does add the ability to images, that'll be fantastic, right? But my only downfall with Pokey, my only criticism, the app is brilliant. I negotiated the bot down to a very reasonable price where I don't think I'll ever cancel. If anything, I might just ask to increase it eventually because I think it's very good value for what I get now. But issues. Their development team is extremely slow. Like, if you compare it to OpenClaw, that's one dude, raised no money. Pokey Interaction raised like 15 mil. OpenClaw's one guy. See, Super Bowl added to your work calendar, Feb 9, 2026, 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Melbourne time, Seahawks vs. Patriots. Brilliant. There's a cow sitting on a couch with a chicken, right? It is an amazing fucking tool. It is so good. I love it so much. It is definitely, I'm definitely ripping interaction off. However, painfully slow development, right? And limited restrictions with what you can do. So they're my only drawbacks with it. Other than that, the app is brilliant. And I think 100 times better than OpenClaw. They just need to increase the development. And the only other last thing is it refuses to tell you what model it is, which is concerning. So I can't trust it to code. With the coding, I can get it to code like I said. I just need it to be, it just does it via Codex CLI or Claude Code CLI on my Mac. So I use my subscriptions through that. And it has a whole OAuth, like I go in and I'm signing OAuth style. And other than that, the model that it does use is generally pretty good for day-to-day. I have a feeling it routes different questions to different models based on the question you ask. Again, hard to trust it, but for day-to-day things, it's fine. I would assume it uses some sort of either open source model or it's using GPT-4 or like Gemini 2.5. I would assume something like that, or an open source DeepSeek Meta, something like that. Other than that, guys, this was supposed to be a 10-minute video. I've been recording for 30 minutes. I want to edit it and post this video. So, thank you for watching. If you want any questions, leave them in the comment section below. I will make another video soon about it. I want to fine-tune it, see if I can increase its speed. But in the meantime, if anyone wants to send me a new MacBook Pro, please do. Anyway, peace, guys. Thanks for watching.